You're watching AI Time Capsules on Kathy Gets It Together. Imagine if I told you one of the biggest reasons your phone can connect to Wi-Fi was a Hollywood actress, not a scientist, not an engineer in a lab coat, a movie star in the 1940s who used to run lines between takes and sketch out inventions between scenes. Her name, Hedy Lamarr. And she wasn't just a pretty face on black and white posters. She was a restless mind, and her story might be the most surprising tech origin story you've never heard. Imagine the glow of a projector, the flash of cameras, the roar of a crowd, and behind all that noise, a woman quietly designing the future. Born Hedwig Kiesler in Vienna in 1914, she grew up obsessed with how things worked. While other girls played piano, Hedy took apart music boxes just to see their gears spin. She was discovered by a director and swept into fame before she was 20. But fame came with a cage, especially when she married a wealthy arms dealer who kept her under guard at parties. At those parties, she overheard scientists and generals talking about radio-controlled torpedoes and coded transmissions. And unlike everyone else sipping champagne, she was listening. Hollywood would later call her the most beautiful woman in the world. But before that, she'd already been a spy of sorts, listening, learning, storing ideas she didn't yet know she'd use. When she finally escaped that marriage, she boarded a ship to America, the ocean liner cutting through fog, carrying both her fear and her future. In Hollywood, Hedwig became Hedy Lamarr. And while the studios polished her into perfection, somewhere deep down, she still wanted to build something that mattered. It was World War II. Hedy watched newsreels of ships sinking, torpedoes missing their targets. The problem? Enemy forces could jam the radio signals that guided them. So with her friend George Antheil, a composer known for wild piano performances, she dreamed up something that sounded almost impossible. A radio signal that could hop between frequencies, following a secret rhythm, so no one could jam it. They borrowed the idea from player pianos, those old automatic instruments that could play songs on their own by reading perforated rolls of paper. If music could jump from note to note, why couldn't a signal do the same? They called it frequency hopping. It worked on paper, it worked in theory, and in 1942, they filed the patent. But when they presented it, the Navy dismissed them. They told her to go sell war bonds instead, one historian later said. So she did, dazzling crowds, auctioning kisses for the war effort, raising millions. Her invention sat in a drawer collecting dust, waiting for the world to catch up. Decades passed, technology evolved, war ended, and engineers began revisiting old patents, looking for anything that could make communications safer. When they found Hedy's design, it felt like rediscovering a missing puzzle piece. Her frequency hopping became the backbone for secure military communications, then for Bluetooth, GPS, and Wi-Fi. Yes, the same Wi-Fi you're using right now traces back to an idea scribbled on her notepad between film takes. She never earned a dime from it. And for most of her life, the headlines were still about her beauty, not her brain. But in the 1990s, long after she'd vanished from Hollywood, the tech world finally caught up. She received the Electronic Frontier Foundation Pioneer Award in 1997, at age 82, sitting quietly at home in Florida, listening on the phone. When reporters asked how it felt to be recognized as an inventor, she just said, "It's about time." Hedy Lamarr reminds us that genius doesn't always wear a lab coat. Sometimes it wears diamonds. Sometimes it walks red carpets and still goes home to tinker in silence. Every time your phone connects, or your car finds its way home, a small pulse of her idea still hums through the air. It's proof that brilliance and beauty were never opposites. They just hadn't been introduced yet. And maybe, like Hedy, we're all still inventing the next signal, the one that connects who we are with what we might become. I'm Kathy, and this was AI Time Capsules, where history's forgotten ideas finally get their signal back.